Okay, I'm going to try something here, a sound over to this video here that has all my clips of the trip. This is going to be 9 major parts: clothing, navigation, heat/shelter, hydration, nourishment, tools, dog gear, cook gear, and trekking. And what I'm going to try and do here is take this 8-minute video and just condense all of my thoughts that were on my trip, all the experiences I had, some of the things that worked well and some of the things that did not work well. So here goes. Clothing: hat, gloves, wool, base layer, down vest, and socks. Those are my major talking points here. So I used a real deal Brazil canvas baseball cap, and then underneath it I just put what's called a balaclava helmet liner. Now this is a thin liner, but I can use it as a stocking cap or I can use it in full balaclava mode. I put the full balaclava mode at night when I'm sleeping, and it worked really great. Gloves. I have thin leather gloves to while working with the fire and my stove and cutting wood. I have wool mittens. I had some U.S. Army surplus over mitts, and I have fingerless gloves. While I'm trekking, I typically wear fingerless gloves, and then once I get to camp, I usually put on the leather gloves. When I'm stopped, waiting for people, taking a little break, I'll have the U.S. Army mittens slung over my neck and then put my hands in those. They work pretty well. The biggest disadvantage with leather that I see is when it gets wet. It's a big problem. Navigation: compass, USGS topo map. I had a GPS, only used the GPS to check mileage essentially, and then used my compass just to kind of back up the guy I was with. He was doing most of the navigation. The USGS quad was okay, but locally produced maps are probably better because the scale is going to be more detailed. USGS maps aren't really detailed enough when you're on trails, but that's just kind of my opinion there. Heat/shelter. I'm a big advocate of this paint can heater, this little emergency hobo stove. So you take a 1-quart paint can and stick it a roll of toilet paper in there, make sure it's stuffed in there very tightly so that the toilet paper doesn't start to burn, and then I use 91% isopropyl alcohol. Really worked great for a little tent heater. I got to base camp, set up my tent, my hands were starting to get cold. We didn't have a fire going yet. That's a choice we made to set up our tents before we made a fire, and they were starting to get little frozen, so I just open up that paint can heater and go ahead and warm myself up. Now realize I'm working in a canvas tent with plenty of ventilation. It's not really a closed shelter. The other thing is those things are kind of bulky, but I'm really big advocate of that. I make my chili on that. I can heat up some water. It really doesn't boil water, but very works out very well. Stakes, tent stakes when it's frozen ground, which this was. I mean, it was frozen solid. I use these galvanized landscaping spikes. They're 7 inches long and they're spiral. They pound in really well. I have an axe pole to pound it in with. So those worked really well. Canvas tent, my 3 U.S. Army shelter halves. I love that thing. That works great. It weighs 10 pounds, but that's the way it is. Made a big mistake on this trip. I got to base camp, set up my tent, gathered enough wood to get basically my tent stove going, made my supper. Then I went back out to the debris pile where I had gotten the first wood and cut some more wood. It was dark at that time. I really didn't like doing that, but I ended up getting green wood, so it didn't burn at all at night. So I cut and split quite a bit of wood. My wood has to be about 10 inches long to fit in my little stove. Takes about an hour to do all that, haul it and all that kind of stuff. A lot of calories expended, and didn't select the right wood out of the pile. Just rookie mistake. Hydration. I took a 2-quart U.S. Army canteen and a 27-ounce Nalgene type flask. They worked fine. That was more than enough water to get me through. We had to melt snow. That's the first time I've needed to do that. You get all kinds of forest debris in it, kind of no matter where you collect the snow. If you're out in the middle of a field, that's great, or if you're on a lake that's frozen, you can get snow, but there was only about 6 inches of snow. So the guy I was with had a little coffee filter type thing from GSI that you could strain out all the forest, droppings, I call them, but all the little pieces of pine needles and all kinds of stuff. So that worked really good. The water did taste smoky after that, so if you're just drinking water, definitely want to use some Tang or Gatorade or hot chocolate or whatever, because just drinking that water did not taste that good. It was fine when you're cooking with it. Nourishment. Big proponent here of peanut butter. I had some homemade gorp that was just M&Ms and honey roasted peanuts and almonds and raisins, and I ate that stuff like it was a drug. I mean, it really puts the calories back in you. You expend a lot of calories keeping your body warm, even if you aren't doing a lot of hard work. And we only trekked in 3.75 miles and back out, but I was pretty beat. The Polk sled was too heavy. Other meals I made: chili with tortilla shells, my own dehydrated chili, and that worked fantastic. Instant potatoes. I had some steaks the first night. Tang, hot chocolate, coffee. The gorp. That's really everything that I ate for 3 meals. That was my whole 3 meals. I was out for about 24 hours. Tools: Phoenix LD20 with the Night Eyes clip, fantastic. Leatherman juice, fantastic. Homemade buck saw, fantastic. Foam pads for kneeling on. You really need that in the snow. Axe, I took my axe. I really didn't need it. I'm a little disappointed in that. I'm going to just get a smaller hatchet, I think. I have an S-wing, but that's too heavy. I want to get a smaller hatchet. Took the dog, so I needed dog gear. A pad for the dog to sleep on is critical, and then on the top of the pad, the dog had a wool sweater and a down vest when it was sleeping. That worked out well. She was warm enough. Cook gear: 3 pieces of cooking gear that I take: my GSI stainless steel cup, my Paderno baking pan for frying, and my 2-quart aluminum pot for melting snow. That worked great. No problems there. Trekking: I used $10 trekking poles from Walmart. Worked fine. You need a multi-tool to adjust the collapsible stocks, and so you just need that. Did not use the snowshoes. Did not use the goggles. Found out when I got home my wife had purchased a pair of yak tracks for $3 at a thrift store. Boy, could I have used those. Anyhow, that's my thought. A lot of fun.